No need to buy Greek yogurt from the store anymore because now you can make it right at home. Hi, I'm Tracy. In today's video, I'll show you the step-by-step process for making rich, creamy, and perfectly thick yogurt at home. Most importantly, I'll share the secret to achieving that Greek yogurt-style thickness without a yogurt maker or any fancy ingredients. Now let's get started. The ingredients for this recipe are incredibly simple, and the first one is milk. I usually use whole milk because it retains its natural flavor and rich creaminess while also creating a smoother, thicker texture. Next is the yogurt. You do not need very much, just one container or a few tablespoons that contain live active cultures to start the next fermentation process. Be sure to let it come to room temperature before adding it to the milk as your starter. This ingredient is very important and convenient, because after each batch is finished, you only need to save a few tablespoons to use as the starter for the next batch, without having to buy a new starter every time you want to make yogurt. That is everything you need to make yogurt. However, before we begin, there is one important step you should not skip, and that is sterilizing all of your equipment before cooking. Place your yogurt jars, cooking utensils, and stirring tools into a large pot. Pour in boiling water and let them soak for about 10 minutes. This step is extremely important because it helps eliminate bacteria and mold, making it easier for the yogurt to ferment properly and helping it last longer during storage. After soaking for the full amount of time, remove everything and allow it to air dry naturally. Now that everything is ready, you can begin heating the milk. Pour about 1/2 gallon, 1.9 liters of whole milk into a heavy-bottomed pot. Then turn the stove to medium-low heat and warm the milk gradually. While heating, remember to stir continuously so the milk does not stick to the bottom of the pot or burn. You should not skip this step, because the milk can boil over and lose some of its nutritional value. I really enjoy using whole milk because its higher fat content helps create a smooth, creamy texture and keeps you feeling full longer. In addition, it contains important nutrients such as protein, calcium, vitamin B12, and phosphorus, which support strong and healthy bones. After about 10 minutes, you will begin to see small bubbles forming around the edges of the pot. This is a good sign that the milk has reached approximately 180 degrees Fahrenheit, 82 degrees Celsius. Reaching this temperature is important because it changes the milk proteins, helping the yogurt develop a smoother and thicker texture. Once the milk has reached the proper temperature, the next step is to let it cool down to about 120 degrees Fahrenheit, 49 degrees Celsius. To speed up the process, I usually place the pot in a basin of cool water for a few minutes. While the milk is cooling, you may notice a thin layer forming on the surface. I usually remove this layer because it can affect the flavor and texture of the finished yogurt. Now comes the important part. The milk needs to be warm but not too hot before adding the yogurt starter. A simple traditional way to check is to place a drop of milk on your wrist or the back of your hand. It should feel similar to milk in a baby bottle, comfortably warm but not hot. This step is very important because the beneficial bacteria need the right temperature to grow. If the milk is too hot, the bacteria may be killed. If it is too cool, the fermentation process will be slow and may not work properly. Now it's time to add the yogurt starter. Take about 4 tablespoons of yogurt from a previous batch, or use plain yogurt with live active cultures if this is your first time making it. Instead of adding the yogurt directly to the pot, I like to mix it with a few spoonfuls of the warm milk first. This helps dissolve the yogurt and distribute the beneficial bacteria more evenly throughout the milk. Once it is well mixed, pour the mixture back into the pot and stir gently. Once everything is thoroughly mixed, cover the pot with a lid, wrap it with a towel to help hold the warmth, and place it in an oven that is turned off. Let it sit for 8 to 10 hours, while the beneficial bacteria work and transform the milk into yogurt. I usually let it sit overnight to save time. After the fermentation process is complete, your yogurt is basically finished. At this stage, it will have a smooth texture, but it may still be a little thinner than traditional Greek yogurt. If you prefer a softer yogurt or want to use it in smoothies, simply place it in the refrigerator and enjoy it as is. However, if you wanted that thick, rich, and creamy Greek yogurt texture, there is one more step. Place a strainer over a large bowl and line it with a cloth or a yogurt straining bag. Carefully pour the yogurt into the lined strainer. Then place the entire setup in the refrigerator for about 4 to 5 hours to allow the yogurt to thicken. If you prefer a softer yogurt, simply strain it for about 2 hours. During that time, the excess whey will slowly drain into the bowl below. The difference is easy to see. As more whey drains away, the yogurt becomes noticeably thicker and creamier. Don't throw away the whey. You can use it in homemade bread, add it to smoothies, or even use it as a natural preservative in certain recipes. If you'd like, I'll show you how to use whey to make mayonnaise that stays fresh longer in a future video. Now take a look at this finished yogurt. It is thick, creamy, fragrant, and has a gentle tang from the fermentation process. At this point, pour it into individual jars or transfer it to one large container and store it in the refrigerator to enjoy over time. Greek yogurt is rich in protein, which helps you feel full longer and supports muscle health. It also provides calcium, vitamin B, 12 potassium, and probiotics that support bone health, digestion, and gut health. Because most of the whey has been removed, Greek yogurt typically contains more protein than regular yogurt, making it a great choice to enjoy every day. You can enjoy it plain to fully appreciate its natural flavor, rich creaminess, and refreshing tang, while also experiencing its smooth, velvety texture that is every bit as good as store-bought yogurt. You can also drizzle it with a little honey or enjoy it with fresh berries, bananas, granola, or nuts. Another great option is to add a spoonful to your smoothies to give them a refreshing taste and an extra nutritional boost. It is also delicious when used in fresh vegetable salads. And that's how you can make rich, creamy Greek yogurt at home using just a few simple ingredients. I hope you'll give it a try and see how easy it can be. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.